There's a new achievement to unlock. Xbox Live games can be played on HoloLens. I'm Bridget Carey. This is your CNET update. More details are being revealed about Microsoft's HoloLens augmented reality headset. The company says the headset will work with Xbox Live games and that it's going to be set free into the wild sometime in the next year. If you're unfamiliar with HoloLens, that means you can attach Windows to your home windows if you so desire. Microsoft said the online multiplayer games of Xbox Live can work on the HoloLens. Its systems work together as one. You can expect there to be one universal store for apps and games that can be accessed from different devices. In an interview with the BBC, Microsoft CEO said there's a big video gaming conference going on now in Germany called Gamescom, and Microsoft used the event to make some more announcements about updates coming to the Xbox One. Next year, then be streamed to watch on a Windows 10 device. And in November, the Xbox One has questions, but you need a Kinect camera to be able to do that from the Xbox. And if you don't have a Kinect, that's it for this tech news update. You can always get more news at cnet.com. From our studios in New York, I'm Bridget Carey. Wall Street is a flutter over the future of Twitter. I'm Bridget Carey. This is your CNET up. Looking for a new leader. The network's chief executive, Dick Costolo, announced he's stepping down. Fast enough. That's because Twitter can be a little confusing to the non-initiated. And even with revenues doubling year over year, pleasing investors and getting more people on Twitter will not be an easy task. Just please don't turn Twitter into some sort of watered-down version of Facebook. Now, rapper Snoop Dogg has put his hat in the retweets, but I'm worried he just let the network go up in smoke. And before the CEO switch-up news, Twitter did announce something else. It's removing the 3D. If you want to make your own 3D printed items, there are new types of computers to get you started. Last year, HP expect much of the talk to be around Halo 5. It's one of the most anticipated games coming this year. And I'm sure Microsoft is going to give us more reasons on why a Windows 10 PC is going to make your Xbox experience better, because Windows 10 is coming out next month. Sony will follow with its PlayStation news later in the day, and Nintendo has its news conference on Tuesday. We'll have to see if Nintendo will talk about its mobile game plans or maybe give us a clue on its mysterious new console in the works. That's it for this tech news update. There's plenty more at cnet.com. From our studios in New York, I'm Bridget Carey. Nintendo announced the Pokemon Go Plus wristband will be on sale next week, on Friday, September 16th. $35 Pokemon device was first announced, and it pairs with your phone over Bluetooth, and it will light up and vibrate when Pokemon are nearby. As the Pokemon mania seems to be cooling off, the game may be getting a new jolt from this device, and PlayStation Pro will cost $300. I'm Bridget Carey. You can keep up with all the hottest tech news at cnet.com/update. Hissing noise from the logic board when it's busy completing a heavy task. The issue was brought into the media spotlight. Maybe it's just a manufacturing snag for a few units, but Hackett, who recorded the hiss, if you hear a hiss, get in touch with us at the email address update@cnet.com. It's not clear how many people are hearing the static, so why is it getting so much media attention? Well, but hey, at least it's not catching fire and exploding like the Galaxy Note 7. In order for the Note 7 to beat the iPhone 7 launch. But it seems that rushing backfired. Customers in the US have to wait until Wednesday to get new phones. That's it for this tech news update. I'm Bridget Carey. You can stay on top of the biggest stories at cnet.com/update. Keeping organized during a trip can get complicated between booking hotels, cars, flights, trains, dinner reservations, and other events. So Google's new Trips, and Google also made changes to its driving app, Waze. Pops up when you're approaching your destination, it'll ask you that lot and pricing. But of course, that info will only be available if the parking lot shares that data. But who needs Waze when you're going to be chauffeured around town less than 10 years? But I'm more interested in the 5-year research project. I'm Bridget Carey, and you can keep up with the hottest tech news at cnet.com. Some Amazon Fire tablets as a software update, and that includes a new tablet. Just said exactly when the Alexa assistant is arriving on tablet, but this likely will not be the end of her expansion into more devices. Executives at Lenovo have been talking to Amazon about the possibility of getting the assistant on PC. That's it for this tech news update. I'm Bridget Carey. You can stay on top of the biggest stories at cnet.com/up. There's a brand new cutting-edge smartphone from LG, and it has frickin' laser beams. I'm Bridget Carey, and this is your CNET Up. When it comes to the top-of-the-line smartphones, Apple and Samsung
hog the spotlight. It's just hard for other phones to get consumers' attention, and part of that is because Samsung just spends more money on marketing. But LG hopes new tricks will help its phone stand out. The LG G3 is packed with unique disables your phone remotely if you lose it, but if someone's borrowing your phone, you can hide certain files from being seen, even when it's connected to a computer. Now, it has a helpful assistant. Although it's not as chatty as Siri or as inventive as Q, the LG Smart Notice will offer suggestions throughout the day. So if the weather is bad, it'll remind you to take a too. It goes on sale in South Korea Wednesday, and then it will be sold in more countries. The UK and the US will get it sometime in July, but for some reason, LG is keeping the price top secret. Meanwhile, over at the World Wide Web, there has been another hack. Yeah, this time it's Spotify. The music streaming service warned it seems only one unlucky person had their account hacked. But do keep watch for an update to the Android app. It should make it more secure. That's your tech news update. You can find more details on the G3 and the Spotify hack at cnet.com. From our studios in New York, I'm Bridget Carey. The queen of the internet now approves of Apple Music. I'm Bridget Carey. This is your CNET Up. Her musical majesty Taylor Swift has shown great mercy to Apple and will allow her album 1989 to be streamed on the Apple Music service. Just when you think they were never getting back together in streaming service, because Apple's policy was to not pay artists for any song streamed during the 3-month free trial period. Well, hours later, Apple announced it would change its policy and pay artists for every stream, because Apple knows you don't want bad blood with an exclusive deal with Apple, but rather she's going with Apple because it just felt right in the gut. Maybe it's like that feeling you get when you have one of those Activia probiotic yogurts. Now, just before Apple Music launches, Google is hoping to take a bite out of their business by adding a free radio service. Google Play Music is similar to Apple Music. It's created by the team at Songza. If you didn't already get the memo, Google bought Songza a year ago. Also, interesting news at Facebook, you no longer need to have a Facebook account to use the Facebook Messenger chats who are reluctant to join Facebook. And moving to Microsoft, you write what once went wrong with Windows 8. That's it for this Tech News Roundup, but there's always more at cnet.com. From our studios in New York, I'm Bridget Carey. The way we laugh online is evolving. I'm Bridget Carey. This is your CNET Update. How do you laugh online? Are you more of a ha-ha or a hee-hee? Do you go right for the crying, laughing emoji face or the classic LOL? For me, it varies depending on the couple of users to find trends of how people are expressing. Age does factor into these trends. No surprise that the LOL skews a little older for the generation that grew up with it. Well, maybe to win over Florida voters, the presidential candidates will need to master the commenting combo of emoji and lols. Not only are we chatting online in new ways, but there are more ways to talk to your phone. Microsoft's Cortana virtual assistant arrived as a beta test program on Android last month, but there's an update to the app, like she does on Windows 10, but with one exception. You can't wake her up on Android by saying, "Hey Cortana," whereas on Android you can start a voice command by saying, "Okay Google." And in the world of mobile payments, Apple Pay is expanding to include American Express corporate card in the United Kingdom. That's it for this Tech News Update. You can always get more news at cnet.com. From our studios in New York, Apple knows that upsetting Taylor Swift is trouble, trouble, trouble. I'm Bridget Carey. This is changing how it's going to pay royalties for musicians on its new music service. And all it took was a blog post from Taylor point that it wasn't about her needing the money, but the principle of the matter. And the system can hurt new artists that depend on those royalties. Bad blood between Taylor Swift. So after that post, Apple quickly responded and changed its policy. Eddie Q, Apple's executive that oversees iTunes and the streaming, and if you don't have a big named artist like Taylor Swift, it can be hard to win. Switching gears to shopping. Amazon is changing its customer reviews. Noticed more social media companies are hungry for a piece. That's it for this Tech News Roundup, but there's always more at cnet.com. From our studios in New York, a ride in a pedicab designed to look like a throne. Urging you to tweet to the 7 Kingdoms with who knew an app could make the quest to take the Iron Throne so easy. Reporting from our studios in Westeros, I'm Bridget Carey, Queen of Updates.